this piece. Your salute. Right. Let's get cooking. Yeah, the Golden Ladder, man. Nasarean Doctrine, Class 3. Where is the soul fam at? I know right now the frequencies are all over the place, man, in the world today. People are here, people are there, people are there, people are there, you know? So I wanted to share some jewels with guys that ancestors gave me in my last download, meditation, and study. I hope this message greets all of you in good spirit, in good faith. I hope you guys are in your center. Yo, what up, Celestial Samurai? First dear, salute to yourself. Yeah, I wanted to expand on the Nasarean doctrine that I got a little into. I think it was the last time I was on here. I've been away for a couple of days doing some things in the background. So I started, listen, when I don't go live, I miss me. Do you know why? Because a lot of the time, no ego, this stuff that I do helps me. I don't just do this to help people. Even though you've heard me say it's not for me, I take that back. It's for me too. Because especially over the last, let's say, 2 weeks, getting into my Megillah, which is Nasarean Bible, I'm working on myself, getting into deeper into working on myself and stuff. Yo, this stuff has helped me start to really feel like I've stepped into my own power and living on my own, by my own terms. And I'm pulling off paradigm shifts. When I go sleep and I wake up, I've shifted my reality and give myself more power and control over how I want my life to be. You understand? So I was like, yo, I'm going to come online just to share this with the soul group in the hopes that how I feel off of this stuff, how I feel like I'm more in my power, my powers are coming online, I can achieve anything I put my mind to. I hope some of that, how I feel, rubs off on you guys. That's what I wanted to do with this live. I started missing me. I'm like, yo, I need to share this with the group, because when I hit one of these eureka moments, the first thing I want to do after I've digested it is share it with others who I know resonate on my same kind of vibration, and that's you guys on my YouTube lives and on my Instagram lives. So as soon as I was digesting this, I was like, yo, I need to share this, share some of this energy with my soul fam. So I literally just sat there for the past 3 hours and put together this little thing I'm calling the Golden Ladder, to give you guys some more keys as to how you can power up some more, because I feel like I'm powering up, man, on the next level, and I want to share that with you guys. I don't want you guys to fall into this end of the world doom and gloom shit like so much people are doing. Yeah. So who panetu rumenanucha you kamuna lulbi who he she the deities who nothing exists except by way of the mother father creator forces Jah and Jaja, Anu and Antum. Ashadu an la ilaha illallah, Anu alyoina alyoina. I bear witness that nothing would exist if it wasn't by the will of Anu, the Most High, the Highest. Amun. And I ask the ancestors to relay this message to you guys, which they've given to me by way of inspiration, so that you guys can feel more of this power. So yeah, we was talking about the Nasarean doctrine last time. Do you guys remember talking about the tree of life and the fruits of the tree of life and the golden ladder being the same as the tree of life, and how the tree of life is something that is inside of us? It's not just the same, the biblical concept what they gave us in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'll go over a few of them points, not to go over them, but you will hear me mention a few of them points. So I know some of them you may not remember, because we've only spoken these Nasarean terms, I think, once before, once on YouTube and once on Instagram. But don't worry about that. You can always ask a question on the thread. If you forget anything, just ask. Don't feel dumb to ask, like if you forgot what the tree of life means or whatever. I'll do my best to explain it and to give you some of the Hebrew terms as well. If you want me to put anything on the thread after, I'll put it on the thread. Because the weather's crap, I'm doing it inside. That means we ain't got to worry about my battery cutting out because my battery's already plugged in. So I can just sit into this and make sure that I push this message. The bullet points ain't too long anyway, but usually I put it down as bullet points. This is more of sentences, so it might flow a bit differently than how I usually do my lives, where it's more bullet points and I stop and elaborate. I'll still stop and elaborate, but you'll find it's more structured. So yeah, we were speaking about in the last live with the Nasarean doctrine, to link it into, I hope you guys have watched it. There's a live on here called The Theory of Everything. I think it's got the most likes out of all of my videos, and it's one of the oldest ones. One of the oldest ones in the last 2 years, yeah. But that kind of kicked me off on YouTube. The Theory of Everything live hit a lot of people. It's a very good live to keep revisiting because the themes, the abstract terms we're speaking about, the quantum mechanics and stuff, it may take more than one time for that type of information to stay with you. But what we're getting at here when we speak about the tree of life, not only being some tree that's growing apples in somebody's garden, it's inside of you. Do you understand? So the last time we was talking about how the tree of life is something that's inside of us all the time. It's right in our center, and each being, all the beings ever created, are connected at the center on a quantum level through this tree of life. Okay, and we went on to speak about some of the fruit of this Nasarean tree of life, yeah. And some of the fruit that we mentioned was love. That's a fruit of the tree of life. Wisdom, compassion, empathy. What else did I list down? Gratitude. All of them kind of things are more than just things. They're fruits of the tree of life. Do you understand what I'm saying? And just like I said, the tree of life isn't just a tree in somebody's garden. It's the same that the Ark of the Covenant that you hear so much about in Abrahamic monotheism, the Ark of the Covenant and King David and the powers that it is got inside of it, and it's got the 10 Commandments and all that stuff. The Ark of the Covenant means more than that too. On a metaphysical level, the Ark of the Covenant, yeah, the treasures from the tree of life are in the real Ark of the Covenant, meaning all them treasures, all them fruits that we just spoke about, love, wisdom, gratitude, empathy, compassion, the fruits of the tree of life, the Ark of the Covenant is what holds those treasures. You will find them treasures inside of yourself. The Ark of the Covenant is inside of yourself, yeah? So you'll find the fruits of the tree of life as the treasures inside of the Ark of the Covenant, yeah? And those who make sincere effort, yeah, a sincere effort to better themselves, to work on themselves, to do the shadow work, yeah, inside of themselves concerning the roots and the branches of this tree of life, they become what's known as Nasi in Hebrew, which means prince, or Nasiya, which is the feminine form, which means princess, yeah. And once this is when you open this fruit. You open it, but also you got to taste it. When you taste this fruit now, that's when you become king of the 7 kingdoms. And them 7 kingdoms we spoke about before is the 7 kingdoms of the lands within yourself, which means your chakras. Each chakra is a certain kingdom inside you. The kingdom is you. And inside you have 7 realms of that kingdom, which is your 7 chakras. They're like lands. So once you master this tree of life in the center of yourself, all 7 branches and all 7 roots, that prince and princess now become king of the 7 kingdoms, or queen of the 7 kingdoms. And notice, I mentioned before in Game of Thrones, I swear they're talking about 7 realms. They keep talking about, oh, king of the 7 kingdoms and queen of the 7 realms, and that. I'm sure it is. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So once again, they're using this esoteric knowledge even in shows like Game of Thrones and Hollywood stuff and that. So those who make a sincere effort means they never stop in their pursuit to make themselves better. In Arabic, that word is salahin, meaning the perfectionist. That doesn't mean they want everything perfect. It means that every day they're trying to make themselves perfect, even though they know they're not going to make it because perfect don't exist. They live their life every day in competition with themselves yesterday. So they want to be better than themselves yesterday, today. So they working on their self constantly. So Ibrahim, the real one, Ibrahim, was said to be one of these. Salahim, he was somebody who he was always working on himself. You understand what I'm saying? I forgot to mute this phone, so if it rings, forgive me. He's always working to better himself and those around him. Those are known as the Salahim. They're the people or the beings who actually taste the fruit. Because opening the fruit or one of these chakras is one thing, as we've said before, but tasting this fruit is a totally other thing. It's like when we say, remember, walking the path and talking the path is two different things. Walking is harder. Anybody can talk the path. So when we talk about in the Megillah, it tells you that only a certain type of person gets to taste the fruit. Loads of people might open that fruit, but that it's hard to taste it. That means there's a whole bunch of different rites of passage, challenges, tribulations that you might have to go through just to be able to now fully access this heart chakra or this throat chakra. See, we think it's just an idea. We don't understand there's a whole bunch of work that goes. The realization, that's opening the fruit. Because if I give you a book and you never knew about chakras, and I gave you a book about chakras, that's opened your mind to chakras now. So that's open. You can say that's opened the chakra for you. But you ain't tasted it until you've jumped in there for yourself and done all the work that's associated with unblocking this heart chakra or this throat chakra or opening your third eye chakra, your pineal chakra. Do you understand? So speaking about it like we're doing right now, that's opening it. But tasting it is the work you have to do inside of yourself to come to a supreme realization of what the Buddhists call enlightenment or whatnot. And this is why the Megillah makes a distinction between opening these fruits and tasting them. I suspect there's a whole bunch of people who have got open fruits. There's people who's probably opened all 7 branches of this tree of life, But like I said, it's just a speculative thing. They haven't really done the operative work on themselves first and foremost to really taste this fruit, And diligence and persistence ripens the fruit. And when that fruit is ripe, like let's say love, which is basically the first branch or the first step on the golden ladder, because once you start taking that path, that golden path, that tree of life now becomes your golden ladder. You may have to go back to the previous life to understand what we're getting at. I don't want to keep repeating myself. Do you understand? But that's the first step on this golden ladder, love. And diligence and persistence, is what's going to ripen this fruit. Because when you open it, it might not be right. It might not be ripe yet. When you ripen that fruit, through your diligence, persistence, and loyalty. Remember we spoke about on the last one. Diligence, persistence, and loyalty with the right motive. The motive being to serve the Most High, whether you want to call him Yahweh or Jaja or Anu, whatever name. You must be motivated, by the will. You want to serve the Most High, you understand? Which is the Lord and Lady Most High. I'm not just talking about a male, I'm talking about Anu and Antum or Amun and Amunet or God and Goddess, So diligence, persistence, and loyalty with the right motive. The motive is to serve Anu and serve Anu by serving creation, just like I'm serving you right now. Me doing this live for you is me serving Anu, is me serving creation. That's me putting on a service so that hopefully I can raise my standard of living and my experience here while I'm raising yours and I'm raising our vibrations together. So I'm doing it in and around me, The motive must be motivated by love, that fruit of the tree of life. It must be motivated by love. And like I said, diligence and persistence, is what's going to ripen this love within me, so I can fully really taste this fruit, You must be motivated by love, that your motive, not money or material gain or self-gratification, like a lot of people are doing it for, okay? And practice and study, is very important. A lot of people speak about ancestors, God, spirituality, Illuminati, but they don't really have a practice in place. Like, they don't practice nothing at home. Like, if you ask them, okay, so what do you practice? Do you like burn sage? Do you meditate every day? Do you meditate when you wake up? Do you sun gaze? Do you nature walk? Do you do like frequency healing where you listen to your like 432 hertz or 417 for cell repair. Like, what's your practice? And do you study? I'm not talking about watching Jedefre Memnon when he comes on live. I'm talking about away from the camera. Yeah, you on your own initiative going and saying, yo, I'm studying Stonehenge because I want to study Stonehenge. I'm taking notes and I'm going to look in multiple sources and cross-reference it until I've satisfied myself that, okay, I'm clued up about Stonehenge now. If a nigga want to come and talk to me about Stonehenge, we can build. I can sit down and build. Like, if you have no practice and you have no study, yeah, even if you have one, or I practice Islam, but I don't study. I don't read history. I don't study Egypt. I don't study the Americas before Columbus or the Moors or nothing. I just pray every day. Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, the two go hand in hand. You can't just practice and have no study. And you can't just study, oh yeah, I just study all the time. But I never practice. I don't have no practices. I don't have no processes that I've put myself in. I've committed to this process so that when I come out the other end, I'm going to either be stronger, I'm either going to be wiser, I'm going to have learned something new, I'm going to have hit my goals, or something that's going to put that discipline in you, where it's a process, it's not something that happens in an instant. So you have to make a commitment to it. You have to dedicate to it. We should have at least one thing in our life that we do that with, where it engages our mind. Because even the gym, because the gym's not just a physical thing. The gym's very much, way more mental than it is a physical thing. A lot of people don't understand that. That's why most people don't make it in the gym. They last about a week or two and then that's it, done. Yeah, because it's more or less a mental thing, but it's a process and you have to set goals. And I'm not just saying gym, I'm just using that as an example because I'm very familiar with gym, but you could use any, put yourself in some kind of process that you have to work towards goals and hit these goals to get to the next level, to better yourself, to give yourself that mental discipline. Because where the mind goes, the body follows. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm saying all of this to say, practice and study is bed buddies. You can't have one without the other. It's like Bill Gates and Fauci. Both of them are bedrooms. You can't separate them. And anything you do in life, you want to put in a minimum of 60 hours study to become good at what you're doing. Most masters have had to do at least 60 hours studying what they're doing to become a master of that trade. Yeah, don't be a jack of all trade and a master of none. Focus on what you're doing. Yeah, you practice and study to make yourself better. You understand what I'm saying? But practice and study go together. Don't separate them like a lot of these religious or modern day people are doing today. They're separating them. Most people don't do none. They don't practice or study. Yeah, and the few that do usually pick one where they don't do the other. Yeah, that's against our doctrine in the Megillah. Like, both of them things are Siamese twins. They go together. Okay, so whether you're doing meditation, whether you're doing chanting, like I said, gym, or you're doing daily walks, you're walking 2 miles, you're doing frequency raising things like your chants, yeah, nature walks. It could be rock climbing, it could be swimming. You understand what I'm saying? But that will bring you closer to your soul, your real essence, your divine self, because you will learn to see past all of this constant chit chatter that's trying to divert you, and you'll get more familiar with that part of you that just is. It's beyond all this chaos in the world. It's beyond all your challenges. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than life and death. You understand what I'm saying? We need to be tuning into that. That's where all the answers is. Yeah, and it's there where you'll learn the sound of power, which we spoke about in the last live. Yeah, I use Nuwabic language more than I do Hebrew language, but you found that you can find the sound of power in all languages, and all them languages are tied anyway. They're all our languages anyway that we use for different things. So Nuwabic, that you hear me doing the prayers in at the start of all of my videos, I use that language because it traces back further than Hebrew or Ashuric or Aramaic. Any one of them languages. The oldest one I know out of all of the scripts I know is Nuwabic. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the language of the Anunnaki. So it's not even the same language that's written on the walls. You understand? Nuwabic is a sacred language of tones that was only really spoken by the Wahab priests. The Medunetta, that's a different script, yeah? So it's a different branch of the language that's more for public use. Just like in India, you have Punjabi, Hindi, Tamil, What else do you have? Um, Sanskrit. It all goes back to Sanskrit, but Sanskrit is not in broad use. Sanskrit is just for the shamans and the priest people and the priestly caste and all of that stuff, like the Brahmins and shit. Like most of the other people are speaking that Urdu or that Hindi or that Punjabi and shit. So it was like that in Kemet too. It wasn't just one language. Like we had loads of different branches of the language that today some people might call it Sabian, Geese, Amharic, Aramic, Ashuric, Galilean, you understand? Sumerian, Akkadian, Cushitic, Nilotic, Bantu, Kiswahili. We had loads of languages. We had loads of different tribes. But this language, what I'm using at the start of my videos, was the language that the priestly caste use when they're doing their rituals and they're doing their prayers to the Most High. And it's the language of tones, the sacred language of tones, which was created to vibrate on our frequency. So it opens up certain meridians and certain, because remember, it's not just your 7 chakras. The chakras are just the big points. There's there's thousands of them all over your body, which what you call meridians. The main ones that are so big, you call them chakras. You understand? But there's loads of them. So when we vibrate at the correct frequency, like how they tell us 90% of our DNA is junk DNA, and we're only using 10% of our brain, it's because we're not vibrating on the correct frequency that opens the codes in our DNA so we can start accessing more of our DNA. Languages like Nuwabic allow us to vibrate on the correct frequency. So that means we're able to access more out of the Eva, more memories, more accurate information linked back to the Akasha records through our melanin and stuff. That's why I use Nuwabic. I say that because I always get asked what language it is when I'm doing the prayers in the start. Do you see what I'm saying? And as I say to a lot of people, we had 3 different scripts as well for writing languages. So some of our people wrote in what you call Medunetta in the Nile Valley, which is a pictoglyph script. It's pictoglyph script, so it means it's phonetic, yeah, and it's symbolic, but you can speak it and read it as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Other people use cuneiform, which kun means wedge-shaped writing. Other people, like in Mesopotamia and Iraq, use cuneiform. You understand what I'm saying? And then you have a script that's not even an earthly script, that is unreadable. It's Riskian script. So we had them 3 scripts, and then them 3 scripts branched off into other scripts, like Sumerian branches off into Akkadian and Chaldean and all of that other shit, yeah? And then you get Medunetta branches off into Nuwabic, into Hieratic, into Demotic, into Nubic, which is different than Nuwabic, Nilotic, Cushitic, you see what I'm saying? Mande, Bantu, Kiswahili, and it's the same with I suspect it's the same with the language of the gods, the Riskians. Their Riskian language may split into different, because Anu's got all these different families. Then obviously they've got their different dialects or patois and tongues and stuff. You understand? That's why I use the sacred language of tones. Because really and truly, the first script that we was using on Earth was called a tree script, where it was just, we would draw a tree, and according to how the branches are and how many branches, that's a letter. So that was actually the first script. And I've got a picture to show to you, but it's so small it don't make sense me trying to put it on the camera. I'll try and get it enlarged and then share it on my social media or something. But they found it in connection with Suten Agrub, who's Pharaoh Scorpion, who goes back before the founding of Egypt. So he's even before the first Pharaoh in Egypt. They didn't count him. They started from Menes, yeah? But before Menes, they had Pharaoh Agrub, and Agrub means scorpion. And they found plaques of my man that had writing that's speaking about taxes and weddings and politics and all types of shit, even before civilization started. Do you understand? So that was actually the first script before it branched off into Medunetta and all these nice looking scripts. The thing was just like stick business, like a stick with two stripes, that's A, and another stick with 3 stripes, that's B. Really basic. That was the first script that we as Adamites was using before the Elohim taught us their language, yeah? Because remember, it came to a point where we stopped being telepathic. First, we didn't need no languages because we spoke mind to mind, and we use symbols to speak mind to mind. It's not like people like to say, oh, books are a part of the spell. We didn't need books in the start. We was all telepathic. This is true. Do you understand? But it came to a point when we got attacked by these archons. It's dangerous for us to use telepathy. They track us by telepathy. All them children that they're trafficking The ones that are being trafficked, they're the powerful ones. They're powerfuler than me and you. Some of them are like got ESP and telekinesis and psychometry. They're the ones with the telepathy and stuff. They target them because when we use telepathy, it's like a beam, it's like a signal. Where you ever feel like someone's watching you and you turn around and someone's looking straight at you, you're actually feeling that energy that they're sending from their eyes. It's actually touching you. So you can feel someone looking, oh, it feels like someone's looking at me. You turn around and you catch someone looking straight at you. It's the same with telepathy. It puts a signal out, a certain frequency and a certain color. So if you could see properly, because we're not seeing with these eyes are blind. Every time someone's thinking, their thought has a certain weight, a certain shape, a certain color, a certain amount of light or beauty. Is it dull? Is it bright? A certain amount of radiance. So we was able to just take in so much in perception than we are now, because we're so limited with just these eyes that only see like 0.005% of the electromagnetic spectrum. We're not seeing anything. Before, we could see people's auras and see people's thoughts and stuff. So what I'm saying is, we used telepathy before we had to get to writing down languages like Medonetta and cuneiform and speaking audibly and shit like that. That came after, when we was dumbed down, when we had to stop using our four higher senses and stuff, when we were stripped out, when we were stripped of them. You understand? But I want to say this as well. Reading is also a form of telepathy, because when you're reading, there's no audio involved. You don't have to sound out what you're reading. You can read in your mind's eye, and reading in your mind's eye has the exact same effect as if you was reading out loud. Do you understand? To you. Only to other people, it don't have the same effect. So it's just like, if you wanted to say a prayer, you could say it silent or you could say it loud. If you wanted to cast a spell, you could say it silent or you could say it loud. Do you understand? So reading must never be overlooked, because reading is a form of telepathy. It's a power for us, given to us out of all the animals on this planet. And we must utilize it. Yeah. And also, don't get sidetracked by what people are calling psychics, because a lot of people tie up the word telepathy with psychic. Telepathy and psychic is not the same word. Telepathy is a form of psychic powers. Psychic is more than telepathy. Psychic covers clairvoyance, telepathy, intuition, psychometry, telekinesis, all types of different shit. So people who are vague, they use telepathy in a vague, use psychic in a vague way. Like if they're talking about telepathy, they say, oh, he's psychic. Or if they're talking about clairvoyance, they say, oh, he's psychic. Or if he's talking about intuition, oh, he's psychic. They're not really vivid, telling you, okay, his psychic ability is telekinesis, or his psychic ability is telepathy, mind-to-mind communication, or clairaudience, or clairsentience. You understand what I'm saying? Some people are very vague. And if you notice, most of the people that run with these counterfeit psychic people is always women. Do you understand? It's more time 90% women, based on the word. Chicks, yeah, chicks. Watch out for them counterfeit people, man, because a lot of people are what I just said, counterfeit. And a lot of people also are soothsayers, where they're talking to spirits, and some of these spirits are unclean. So they might tell them 1 and 2 truths, and then once they got you locked in, they start telling them some bullshit and feeding they flock all types of bullshit. Yeah, I'll give you 2 examples of these types of people. Nostradamus and Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet. I'm going to leave it there for you to do the research, yeah? Okay, so back to the Megillah, yeah? So opening and tasting the fruit is 2 different things, yeah? We've concluded that it's 2 different things. And we've concluded that tasting this fruit is not easy. And that's why maybe in the Standard Bible, we see quotes like, many are called, but few are chosen, yeah? Many might open the fruit, but only few will choose themselves to taste that fruit. Yeah, I'm gonna show you what you have to do to taste that fruit. To taste that fruit, you have to choose yourself to taste that fruit. Yeah, that means you must become one with that branch and root. So let's take the first branch, for example, love. In order for you to taste love, you must become love. So you got all of us out here looking for love in this world that gave us this false concept of love and shit. They didn't even tell us that this is one of the fruits of the tree of life. So if I really want to find a real love in the world, all I got to do is become love. I got to become it to the point where I embody it. I live it, I sleep it, I eat it. Do you understand? I excrete it. I am love. Once I become love, then now I've tasted this fruit. I am love. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, that's how you taste each one of these fruits. You have to become it. If you want to taste the fruit of wisdom, you have to become wisdom. If you want to taste the fruit of gratitude, you have to become grateful. If you want to taste the fruit of empathy, you have to become empathetic. You understand? Yo, it's that simple. And once you taste that fruit, yeah, once you become one with that branch and the root, yeah, and you taste that fruit is then found within you. For example, to find love, one must first become it, yeah. If love is a fruit of the tree of life, if you want to taste it, you have to become it. Becoming one with love is the first step on the golden ladder, which is the tree of life. When that fruit is ripe, when you've ripened it, yeah, the taste is so sweet to the tongue. And like I said, diligence and persistence ripens the fruit. And as I said, once that fruit is ripe within you, that fruit can heal all nations on earth. One person would be able to heal all of the bullshit on the world. That's how far gone humans are. There's 7.7 billion of us. But if one of us just got it right, yeah, it would be like some Jesus thing like the Bible said. We'll just clear off all this shadow off the earth. And this is why this must be of the utmost importance to us. Because this is how far they've had us from ourselves and from our own powers. And since I've been doing this, I've been feeling like, yo, I'm powering up. I feel like I'm living in a totally different world. I need more people to come into this type of world so me and them can hook up. Because right now, everybody's talking about vaxes and Russia and Ukraine and Will Smith and yo, I ain't got no time for that. So diligence and persistence ripens the fruit, and the fruit within you shall heal all nations. The fruit must be ripened before it can be tasted. She who ripens the fruit within themselves attains oneness with the 7 roots and the 7 branches of the tree of life, or the golden ladder. She, as I said, shall become the king of sevens. Yeah, and as I said, Game of Thrones keeps playing on this 7 kingdoms shit. Yeah, he now rules the 7 kingdoms of the lands within himself, which are the 7 Sephiroth. Sephiroth in Hebrew, which means chakras. Yeah, he or she who rules, he or she who becomes king of the 7 kingdoms or queen of the 7 kingdoms, they'll rule in the name of Anu and Antum or Jaja, yeah, king and queen of the all, yeah. And I'll say this as well. Now I'll get to that for you. Hold on. Are you lot with me though? Am I making sense? Like, I know it's a bit allegorical because we've gone back into a kind of scriptural thing, but I want you lot to get a bit more familiar with that aspect so we're not just lost in Egypt all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? This part as well. Only he or she who bows their head low before Anu and Antum or Jaja, yeah, reveals the kokod. The kokod in Hebrew means the crown of humility. And only them who get the crown of humility will know the kether, which is the crown of royalty in Hebrew, which is the fruit of the 7th branch. Yeah, and notice we're dealing with crowns and we're dealing with the 7th branch. And we know that the 7th chakra is called what? The crown chakra. So now you first have to get the crown of humility, which means you have to bow your head low to the Most High. A lot of you out here like to tell yourself, I don't believe in no God. I'm the only God. Yeah, let's see if you can eat these fruits of the tree of life and really become someone who ascends from this plane. Because in order to get out of here, you have to bow your head low so you can see the crown and show your crown to the Most High Anu. Unless you think you're bigger than and badder as a being than the Most High. Leave religion out of it. I ain't talking religion. I'm talking about you must acknowledge that there's one being in this whole bastard cosmos that's bigger and better than anything you can put in front of me. Just like they tell you in Marvel movie. When they say Thanos is the most mightiest mutant out of all the mutants. Oh, Thanos is coming, he'll beat up Hulk everyone. He's the dude. We've really got one of these most highs in this cosmos. He's the biggest, he's the highest, he's the powerfulest, he's the first, he's the last. You understand? He's the most merciful. That's not a religious thing. That's in the cosmos. You can catch one of these UFOs, lick it down, and ask one of them little greys if you know about Anu. He gonna tell you exactly who Anu is. Capture one of them reptilians and ask them who Anu is. They're gonna tell you exactly who Anu is. They all know. It's only me and you who don't know. So if you want this crown of humility that gets you to the crown of royalty, that gets you to the crown of life, then you have to bow your head low. Yeah, and those who can bow their head the lowest are raised up the highest. You understand? And that's the fruit, as I said, of the seventh branch, the crown chakra. When a queen does this, a kendake, a female, a ukut, a sister, when she does this, she becomes queen of Sheba. And a lot of people don't know the word Sheba in Hebrew means seven. So she becomes queen of seven. And Queen of Sheba was a queen of seven who had mastered her tree of light. And she revealed herself to Suleiman, or Ramesses II, to show him that, yo, your ancestry is Nasarean. You should be on the Nasarean doctrine. They don't tell us that in their Jewish Bible, their Hebrew Israelite standard-ass Bible and Torahs and shit, man. We have to tell you this from the Megillah. So she revealed herself to Solomon, yeah, to show him his Nasarean ancestry. The story is told in a subsequent chapter of the Megillah. So the story in the Megillah of Solomon, well, every story in the Megillah is different than how these Christians or these Jews have got it in their Bible. You will come out the Megillah scratching your head like, yo, now I get it. How they just flip these things into fairy tales when this shit was ultimate, man. Yeah? So a lot of people, they ain't getting to that seventh branch because they don't want to acknowledge that there's a being higher than them because religion screwed them up. So they think like they jumping back into religion or something if they're going to start worshipping Anu and Antum as the divine the divine couple in heaven, or if they call on the name of Amun. Yeah, they feel a bit like, yo, they don't, that's the same like Christianity or Islam or Judaism. See, the religion was meant to screw us like that. So it will block our connection to our heavenly family, to our sky family, to the Most High, when they revealing themselves to us every day. And we vibrating so low, they can't even come and pick us up. They must be looking at us like, bastard, my man needs another 10 years, fam. We might as well go Mars and like, come back in 5-10 years, man, because they're on it, but it's going to take another 5-10 years real out here, man. Yo. Okay, I'm going to finish on this yet, because I didn't want to drag this out too long. Yeah, so I'm on the last segment now. It was 5 segments. I'm on the 5th segment now, yeah, which I subheaded, reading into everything, hysteria, overstimulation. I put that subheading in after I wrote this part because I was thinking, yo, we're so overstimulated right now, yeah, with social media and Instagram and TikTok and posting and WhatsApp and fucking Telegram and Russia and Ukraine and Will Smith, Oscar. We're so overstimulated right now, yeah, that I thought, yo, I have to give you like something that can make you go in your room and just want to, yo, let me just release a lot of this bullshit that over the last, like, let's say 2-3 weeks, the world has just been flooding into us in visuals, sounds. It's just, yo, it's just too much. So this, what I'm showing you, is the keys that I do. So I say, yo, listen, I got a video shoot tomorrow. My head's like, I got all this stuff to do. I got book shit to deal with. I got people's books to send out to them. I got fucking drawings to do for about 2-3 different people. I got songs to record. I got songs to film. You understand? I got lives to do. I got books to finish. It's like, yo, let me take a moment and go to my tree, to the center. Yeah, and I've been doing this for the last, let's say 3-4 weeks with this fleshless diet. And the way that I feel when I come out and the things that I see going on around me, without getting into detail, I just think of something, okay, I need this. The next day, okay, yo, son, hold this, yeah? Because I've just got this at my yard and it's doing nothing. So you might as well just have this and just do this, yeah, with it. I'm like, yo, I was just thinking of this the other day. Right, I need another stand for this camera. Or do you know what? I've got a stand at yard, you know. Here's a stand. Right. And then I look around me and my whole shit's changed. I'm like, hold on. Yo, this is for real, man. This is not a joke. But if you want to sit down and watch Will Smith and speak about that. Like, put your time into speak. We've just put an hour into this. You want to put an hour into Will Smith. I'm not saying don't speak about stuff. But if you're really going to put an hour or half your day or your whole day into these, yo, Will and is it fake? Is it not? Who cares if it is or not? They done. You understand? Let's get down to business. Like how we can be even more better. Yeah? So we can just get rid of these niggas faster. Do you understand? Like, it's where you want to put your attention, man. Because every day, all of these narratives that they're giving us on Hollywood, on the news, on the media, on social media, is all overstimulation so that it blocks you from doing the work that needs to be done. This is what needs to be done. You need to be getting to your tree of life. That's your saving grace. That's your only way up out this bitch. There's no other way to escape. We're in prison here. This is a prison planet. A lot more fuckers going on like this is a holiday. A lot of niggas here is going through life like they on holiday. Nigga, this is a prison for me. I'm trying to escape. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm trying to give y'all niggas skeleton keys right now. But some people, I'm telling you, even if you push this on them, they gonna overlook it. They don't want this. They want the sensationalism. They want all that shit that's out there. And that's why I keep saying, yo, not a lot of people will taste the fruit. Many are cold, man, but they'll get caught up in all the distractions and the glitter and the glamour and the sensation. It's tough, man. You understand? They get caught up out there. Yeah? See to it that you're one of the people that really seeks to, yo, I want to taste this fruit. I want to become this better version of me, this God version of me. Yeah? I don't care what anybody else is on. This is what I'm on. Yeah? And I'm going to explore every part of me and master my flaws and my weaknesses. I'm going to do a skill audit of myself so I can master myself. Forget about mastering other people and impressing people and all of that crap. Let me just be, yeah, and impress me. Do you understand? And find my tree inside of me so I can just climb up out this bitch. Yeah, because I'm sure y'all feel like me. You had enough, right? So the 7 kingdoms are found upon your spine. You are the book of life, which in Hebrew is Sefer Chaim. Sefer Chaim, that means the book of life. You are the book of life. The 7 kingdoms, they're on your spine. The 7 kingdoms, they're on your spine. Yeah? Discover all truths from within, not from teachers or books, etc. I'm not saying not to read them or not to listen to other people like myself, but ultimately, all that shit comes from whatever's in a book is come from inside. Whatever's in the preacher's mouth or teacher's mouth, that's come from somewhere inside. That's not come from just that preacher or just that book. That shit comes from inside, from the inner kingdom. Not from teachers or from books. All of these things come from something deep within that's beyond us as human beings or as personalities, individuals. Yeah? When you master these keys here that I'm sharing with you, when you start taking this as your priority, I guarantee you can hold me to it. You will find that every day, hold on, I feel like I'm in a stronger, more impregnable place where they can't get my mind, the media can't get my mind, people can't get my mind, none of that. I'm just in my own little sanctuary right now where I'm the matrix builder. I'm creating my narrative and I'm living life by my own terms. More of us need to do that as to why I decided, yo, let me take a break today. I'm not doing shit. No music, filming or nothing. I'm just going to take the time to plan a little live and share it with you guys. So I hope you appreciated it, because that's really it. I wasn't planning to do one of them long ones, you get me? I just thought I'd scribble down this in the form that I've given it to you and speak about it with you guys. So guys, come on, hit me up in the comments. If if you think you want to add to something I said or I missed out or I'm chatting shit, let me know, man. You know, usually right now I'd have to turn the thing off because the battery would be up. Shout out to Mahogany X, yeah? Only the strong will survive. And it's not even just survive, yeah? Because remember, surviving is barely getting by, yeah? Surviving is like, you just made it. You just got enough food in that. Yo, only the strong gonna prosper. We ain't gonna survive. We're gonna prosper. We're gonna live up. We're gonna have a presidential life. We're gonna have 1,000 years of peace. We ain't just gonna survive. You understand? But I get what you're saying. I'm not getting at you. I'm just saying, yo, rephrase that. We're going to survive and we're going to prosper. We're going to survive all the bullshit and we're going to prosper. We're going to have a life full of gratitude. And if not us, then our children are going to have it. And so it is. Amen. You know? But yeah, if you check, you have esoteric people and you have exoteric people. Exoteric people are going to keep stuck on this Adam and Eve story in the Bible about eating some apple, yeah? And the story just don't make no sense. Or you could get into the Megillah and the Nasarean teaching and see why we held so much elements within us as Rastas and as Muslims and as Christians in our own right. Why we held, like as Christians, we're more soulful than any. You can go to a black church and go to a white church. You don't even have to compare the difference. You can see blatant, hold on, this is two different things right going on right here. You understand? Same with the Muslims. You go in a black Muslim setup and compare it to just a normal Arab thing. You're like, yo, this is two different things. You ain't even got to compare. You understand? It's us. And we got to get back to being us, to our doctrine. Them things that made us impregnable. This stuff about religion and white Jesus and Adam and Eve eating an apple from this literal tree thing is just daft. You understand? And it's like, I know it's hard, but some of these family members that you're trying to convince and some of these friends and some of these spouses, you're going to have to let it go, man. Because this is not, this ain't for everybody. Look, you see the numbers I get on my thing. Sorry, guys, that must be my cue to just get off the thing because people have just started ringing me now. And I don't see no questions and that, yeah? So I'll leave it at that, but I won't leave it so long next time. I'll come back with a follow-up to this, yeah? Like I said before, if you haven't watched the other part of this Nasarean doctrine, it's a good idea to watch it. The first part I did it on IG because I was restricted on here, so I couldn't go live on here. But I did do a second one before I did this one. So if you haven't seen it, you probably have because you guys are pretty consistent. But I just say that anyway for anybody who hasn't. Guys, I love you guys, yeah? Always. I won't leave it this long next time. I'll be back soon, yeah? Remember, the tree of life inside of you. The golden ladder is when you decide to climb that tree. Your first step is love. Love is the first fruit of the tree of life. You are the Ark of the Covenant. Ark of the Covenant is inside you. And the treasures in that Ark of the Covenant is the fruits of the tree of life. Because you are the book of life. Okay? We love you all. That's the end of the transmission. Namaste.